Okay, fine. This is Raj from IMSK. First, I let explain about my our IMSK net. We are a small group of indie game developers that are working together as an association that would help and elevate each other. We are training for game development in regional languages, industry experts talk, internship, and job visibility for the onlookers Project Connect. Let me give an introduction about our speaker, Mr. Bejaoy Arputharaj. He's been a best VFX studio in India for the last 10 years. He's passionate and a manager with more than 2 decades of CG industry experience, founder of PhantomFx since 2011. A successful VFX studio in India, providing quality content for both international and domestic VFX market. Over to Bejaoy Arputharaj.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everyone. Very nice to meet you all. So I'm happy that I got a chance to meet you all today, and I would love to share my experience and my expertise over this industry. Since 2010, PhantomFx was founded. We've been steadily growing. And I would love to share my experience with you all. Just a second, I'm sharing my screen here. So cool. About Phantom, Phantom was founded in 2010. So I come from a couple of decades of experience from visual effects. I started my career as an ad film maker, and I used to do my own ad film shoots and for local TV channels, and then from there, I got my passion into visual effects. And when I started, there is no such thing like what you have right now. There is no internet or anything, so I'm a self-learned expert on this field. So from there I started my career, and I worked for a few companies, which are well-known companies in India, and then I founded PhantomFx by 2010 out of passion. So Phantom's vision is to work for quality content and deliver quality and creative content only. So Phantom is, right from the inception, Phantom is involved in many of Hollywood and domestic features. So we serve both domestic and international market, as you see here, and we are known for our quality content. So we no matter what it is, what project it is, we don't compromise in quality. That is what made Phantom what it is today. So so we are located in Ambattur, Chennai, and we have our office in we have recently opened our office in Mumbai as well. So this is a few photographs of our office premises and our team here. So we are around 250 people team. So we started with around 4 people 2010, and now we are around 250 people, and they're still counting on, and we are growing. We are registering our office in Canada as well, and we have our administrative office in US. So we are slow and steadily we are growing, and we are providing services to all over the globe actually. So when it comes to Phantoms, Phantom is known for its unique culture and a friendly environment. So people who work here, they enjoy working here, and we don't, we are very keen on not putting a lot of pressure on these people, and we believe that, we have to grow together. So, we, conduct workshops, fun activities, and, we believe in upskilling people. So we keep ourselves updated, so every artist needs to update themselves in a regular basis. So, we keep ourselves updated, including me. So we conduct a lot of workshops and, upskilling sessions, so people are updated, and on the edge of this technology. So I'll just showcase you our showreel. So from there, I'll give you a quick explanation on what we are doing, and and so that I can showcase you our work. And after that, I will give you a brief on the topics that I'm about to cover. Can you see my showreel, Bill? Can you see my screen?
Oh, we can see only the PPT.
We can see the.
Oh, okay. Just a second. So what you see here is a set extension. We call it, so all these are shot, against a green screen, blue screen, and we had to recreate the background here. Create crowd extensions and composite it. And this is a shot from an English feature. We created a dinosaur. This is something that we did for Nippon Paint advertisement. Everything whatever you see is completely computer generated. So what you see here is mostly 2D, except for the dust and stuff, and everything was 3D. And this is something. This is a commercial advertisement. We have to create some cheese background. So that is from a film called Little Mermaid. We did some 3D scan of the character, and we brought in, we mixed up the real character and CGI character. Then right from the hip we have to recreate. This is a talking dog that we did. So the face was replaced for that dog. So this is an underwater shot, where people are diving and exploring shipwreckage. So the characters were all shot against a green screen like this, and then we rotate it out and put our CGI background there. So as you just a second. So as you see in the reel, we are into a lot of creative stuff. We don't restrict ourselves to just some outsourced work, but we are extensively working on a lot of creative stuff, and our specialization lies with the creatures. Right now, we are working on some unique projects, which have a lot of creatures animation and environments, set builds, and stuff like that. And once after the release, I think it is going to add real value to our showreel as well. So just a second, I'm just sharing my screen. So yeah, I understand that most of you are from a background that you might be aware of what visual effects is, and what these various areas that are that we can specialize in and stuff like that. But I'm assuming that we have still so many people that are not aware of all these areas. So I'm just giving you a slight brief on everything about what visual effects is, and why we use it, and a small brief on the areas that you can specialize in, and then we will just move to a specialized session on how a student can get into the visual effects industry. So, so a brief about visual effects is like why visual effects is used in the films, or like yesteryear films. You would have watched the making. Everything was done practically, and when it comes to doing practical stuff, it is there is a limitation there. So. Can you just? Can you see my video? I couldn't. I'm sorry. I couldn't.
We can see. We are seeing your PPT, sir.
PPT. Okay, cool. Okay, so in the yesteryear films, as I said, there was a limitation for certain stuff. You cannot risk your life and do stunts, and you cannot. There are specific things that you cannot do. Like animating a creature, when animating a dinosaur, bringing back a dinosaur on set, it is not possible. So there were limitations before, and and visual effects help the directors to tell the story in a way which was not possible before. So that using technologies advancement, visual effects is growing day by day, and there are there are so many different areas that we can specialize in. So we'll just start with 3D. So when it comes to 3D, we have the modeling and texturing and rigging. So I used to tell a small example to all whenever I conduct some seminars like this to students. Like I just explain them what visual effects in very simple terms. Imagine a puppet show that you are seeing. Imagine you are seeing a puppet show. So for creating a puppet show, you need the puppet first. So here, when it comes to a visual effects shot, the puppet here is our 3D model. So to create those the real puppet, what all you will need, you have to create a puppet out of some clay or some wooden material or plastic material, whatever it is. So here, we call that process as modeling. And the same, after modeling stage, when you try to, in the real world, if you have a puppet made out of clay, and if you try to animate it, if you try to move your character's hand or leg, it will obviously break, right? So to avoid that, what we will do is, like, we will build the clay doll on top of a string skeleton. So that process is called rigging, and we call it rigging here in our terminology as well. So we do rigging inside this 3D model, so that it doesn't break and it allows us to animate the character or creature. So that is called rigging. And after a clay model is done and a rig is done, we are we have to paint the texture on it. So we need the colors, the skin color. We have to design this the skin color and whatever other colors. So that process is called texturing, and we do it here as texturing. So that's an area we call texturing department, and people who specialize in doing these kind of colors and palettes, we call them as texturing artists. So after that, we have to have the characters hair and cloths and stuff like that. So for that, actually we call it as grooming, hair grooming, and for cloth we call people as cloth simulators, or character effects is the whole terminology that we use here. So and next to that, there is a department called Matchmo. This Matchmo, Matchmo is something that we need this virtual camera to be recreated, as in what you used in the live location. For example, if you have a camera movement on set and you want to put a CGI character on your live footage, and this camera will have movement. So when you bring it into a virtual environment, unless you have this character movement, camera movement matched to this live camera, you will not be able to make it look realistic. So you do a camera match move. Just a second. Yeah, I was about to, actually I was just looking for some samples that I can share with you guys, when I show some stuff. So I know there are already a lot of stuff in internet that can help you out with, explaining all this stuff. So I think it is better, I can show you this stuff, and so that it will be more visually engaging and entertaining for you guys. So this is something we call as rotoscopy, the process of, cutting out the character from the background, because we are going to recreate something and replacing him. So the process of cutting out this character is something called rotoscopy, and now comes the green mat. So this process of keying out the green mat is called, like we call it, keying. And, what you see here is a matte paint. So a matte paint is something that, we create digitally. It's something similar to a photo collage and, digital painting on top of this photo collages. And nowadays we have adapted to more advanced matte painting techniques, like, we create some dummy 3D models and we paint on top of it. So this is something that, called matte painting. And, this character is composited on top of that. And this is called 2D tracking, and this is 3D tracking. Because there is a camera movement here. The person who is walking with the camera is moving his camera, and if you are going to create something in the background, we have to have the same exact camera movement recreated inside the virtual world. So we have to track this camera, and that process is called 3D match move. And this is something called, 2D tracking they have used, and they have replaced this board using that. And so as you see there, you can see a 3D model CGI generated. So that model is completely modeled, textured, and rigged. And it has some lighting. So we have to recreate the real life lighting, whatever the lighting environment has. We have to exactly recreate it to make it look realistic. So that department is called lighting department.
Majority of most VFX shot.
Yeah, so this is something called when it comes to modeling, and this is texturing. So you do colors, and you texture, basically you texture on over this flat models, and this is effect simulations. So when it comes to FX simulations, there are like multiple effects. All natural phenomena comes under FX simulations. Like water, fire, dust, and wind or tornadoes, whatever, everything comes under effects and simulations. So that's a model that was created, and they have lit it. So this is the process of rigging. I understand most of you are from a 3D background, so you would have known all this stuff already, but I'm just giving an, just an index about everything so that people from a different background to understand things. Yes. So I'll just go through this showreel of ours again, and I'll give you a brief about certain shots and how we approached it. So when it comes to this shot, this character, the task that was given was like to recreate the stadium here. So we are supposed to recreate the stadium with the full of crowd, and they should look like they are playing in stadium. So this was shot against this particular character. They were shot against matte, and we had to extract these characters using keying and rotoscopy techniques, and then we have to recreate this stadium here, as you see. So we used multiple softwares and techniques to recreate this stadium. Some are created in 3D completely. Some techniques that like what you see here. Some motion graphics and stuff. What all of them were created using compositing techniques. And the crowd was simulated using some crowd simulation softwares like Houdini and stuff. So this actually, this is for English feature that we did. So this had a requirement to create a denoiser, as you see. So we had to recreate a model. We have to create a model first, and texture it, do look development on top of it, and make it look realistic. So unfortunately, we were not on set when this was shot. So we asked our client to provide us with as many details as possible. So they provided us with location photographs and some HDR wall informations to match the lighting and stuff. So we had to recreate everything, whatever you see here. This is an example for a complete CGI stuff. So this for this particular commercial, we had multiple shots. What you see here are very few shots, but how we approach these sequences, or like to start with, we had very intensive storyboard sequences, and based on those storyboards, we recreated stuff. After a storyboard, we did some cinematic animations. Instead of going for a final animation, we just had some blockings, and we presented it to the director to block the camera and the position of the characters. And if they are happy with this, and after that we proceeded with the animation. So once the animation process is done, then we move on to lighting, and then effects, and then to the final compositing. So this is one particular feature that we created. This was the entire background was created using matte paint techniques. As I said, like we had multiple. This is the original input. So we collected multiple building images, which matches the perspective exactly, and we did some Photoshop collage work, and we added some fog and environment lighting, and matched everything on top of it, and then this is the final result of it. So we don't have to create everything in 3D for all the shots. It depends on the shot's complexity and the camera moves. When there is a heavy camera movement, you will not be able to use 2D matte to create that scene entirely. So if there is a minimal camera movement, as you see in this shot, we can easily manipulate this shot using matte painting techniques. So it depends on each and every shots. So if there is heavy camera movements, then we will have to recreate this environment in 3D. And if it is not, we can use simple matte painting techniques and achieve the same results. And this is very one interesting project that we did. We created a whole army, and there is a war sequence of 1 or 2 minutes in this movie. So this entire sequence was shot on an empty ground with just 50 extras. They were dressed as army soldiers and stuff like that. And this particular shot, we had multiple takes. This is one take that you see, this lead character is riding this chariot, and there is this guy helping him out to ride the chariot here. So, how we approach this particular sequence and shot is like we created a mood board. We call concept sketches, and mood boards. Concept sketches are something that, before we go to shoot, we create, we recreate the mood of this film, so we had this, similar drawing, a similar picture drawn before when we go, before we go to shoot. So we finalize the color tone, we finalize the look and feel of this scene, and then we could go to shoot. When we go to shoot, we'll know what we are going to have in the final output, right? So based on that concept sketches, we shot these shots, and so we this was shot separately, and all these characters were shot separately, and everything was every single layer you see here are rotoscoped and then composited on top of some dust layers and some dramatic sky and cloud and god rays and stuff like that. So this is a creature movie that we did years before, actually. So this is an imaginative creature, something between a dragon and a bird, This is a shot that we did for Bahubali. So we have to recreate, replace stunt double's face to Prabhas' face. This is a creature animation that we did. So here again. So the entire set is, nothing here is 3D. Everything is matte paints. So, we just used a few photographs. We went to some few of, palaces around, and we took a lot of photographs, and we manipulated those photographs, and we recreated all this, the whole entire scene. So this is the original shot, and we had a lot of photographs to manipulate this place, and combining a lot of photographs, we created this photoreal matte painting. And
hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Participants are saying that people can't view the video, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Since when it is not viewable? I'm sorry. You should have told me that before. I'm sorry.
I think it's 3 to 2 minutes. They say climbing the.
Now can you see?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
So you are not able to see whatever I was talking about, the reel, since from the beginning?
So not from the beginning. It's from the middle.
Okay, I think I'm not sure why it was switched off. So did you see this shot?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. From here, from Bahubali portion. Yes,
okay.
Sir. Okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So this particular shot, when they were shooting, Prabhas was not in a good state to do a lot of stunts, because he was wounded, and he was not able to do a lot of stuff, stunts actually. So we had to replace Prabhas' face, to stunt double. And also, we got some shared assets from other vendors. That is, the background palace was, from the first Bahubali one, and we have to light it and render it here in this scene. So this particular task had replacing Prabhas' face and placing this palace behind them. And on this particular shot, we had to create this leopard. Yes, I was talking about this shot, and yes. So this is the input that you see here. So when it comes to this shot, there is no camera movement. We made sure that there is no camera movement because this was done under a very tight budget, and also the timeline is also very short. We had to finish this whole movie's, flashback portion in around 1.5 months. So, we don't have the luxury of, having more creative shots like camera movements, dramatic camera moves or stuff like that. So we restricted, the direction team to keep static cameras so that we can recreate the background completely using matte painting techniques, but not 3D. So what we did is we went, to few locations with similar forts and stuff, and we collected a lot of, we took a lot of high resolution pictures, matching our requirements, and we recreated this, all this fort and stuff using those images. We manipulated it and we recreated, the background here. And this is completely a matte paint, and these elephant and horses were CGI. And the vultures you see here are stock footages. So we just cut out those vultures and we placed it there. And this is one English feature we worked in the past year. This is called A Little Mermaid, and this for this character actually there was a real girl dressed like a mermaid. So we got some 3D scans from the client side. So we have our task was to recreate this CGI character, and replace some of her face and other expressions and stuff like that. So what you see here is yes. So this is the original shot. She's just swimming, inside this glass box. So we have to recreate stuff. So the second half of the body was recreated. All this mermaid and tail and stuff.
My name is not Princessa. It's Chloe.
Yeah, this is a talking dog shot. I had this making of it, somewhere. Maybe I can. Just a second, I'll share something. Okay, actually, this is one of our creatures reel. Yeah, I'll just finish this talking dog stuff. So what we did is we recreated the face here. So when you see I will in some time I will share you the another clip of this shot. So that input was just this is a trained dog, so this will just look wherever the trainer is there, and if he do some action, so this dog will react. So we just shot that, and we recreated the entire stuff here. We replaced the whole face, and in 3D, in CGI. So just we recreated the mouth area, and on top of that we have composited it. And when you see, it just lifts its eyebrows and stuff, So that was all 2D. We just manipulated the existing image, and we just, Yes. So that's how that was done. And this is a creature reel. Can you see? Can you see my video here?
Yes, sir.
This is a recent show that we completed. So that bird was CGI. So as I said, this is completely again a perfect example for matte painting techniques. So, we don't have to go and recreate everything in CGI. That means 3D. We can just manipulate stuff using some matte painting techniques. And, if it has a minimal camera movement, we can always, get away with some matte paints. So this is how this shot was done. That's the input that you see there. This is the input, and we recreated this stuff. All this, whatever you see here, or manipulated from photographs, and this water was added on top of that. And that's a complete CGI. This is a full CGI stuff, and everything. Whatever you see here is 3D. And again, here it's a so that's how the input was. We had someone doing the typewriting for just as a reference, and this was completely CGI. We created everything. That was a talking cow.
Very important what I say.
So what you see here is like, no matter what, references you take, everything will help you in some way or other. So, we had a puppet here so that the cameraman, whoever, shoots this shot, have a reference on what is going to come in the final output, so they know where to compose the shot exactly, and they will have a perfect reference for lighting as well. We don't want some bad lighting to spoil the CGI character, which is going to be posted on after the production, on the post production. So like we had a puppet made, and it served as a very good reference for lighting. So it was a matter of matching the lighting and all these highlights and blacks and everything. So it served us as a very good reference actually. So that is a Sphinx cat. It doesn't have any fur. That's for a movie called Cats and Dogs. We created this iguana. Let's see. So this particular shot needed CGI monkey and CGI bird to be added. And this is an elephant. So as I said, like this particular shot, director wanted this elephant to, hit this truck and tumble it upon, but that is practically, a very risky stuff to do. So, it was not possible to make the real elephants to act like that. So, we had this, CJ elephant added on top of the stunt people, and the truck was tumbled real time, and behind that we created this CGI elephants. All these are CGI. So that was, I think, somebody's mic is disturbing. Can you please mute it? Mr. Mari Silva. Yes. Yeah, so that is all about the Showreel, and I think I gave you a brief on what we do and how all these shots were handled. Maybe we can have we can take a detailed discussion in the question and answer session if somebody has any questions on any particular shot that you saw. I will just go through a few more points. We have to cover about. Just a second. I'll just share my screen here. Yes. Yeah, so the VFX industry today, as a fresher, what should I know to secure my first job is, so many people ask, questions to me, through a lot of, the Facebook messengers or LinkedIn messages, sir, how do I get placed in a company like yours or others, So I see there are so many questions, similar questions, from the students. So I thought I will, just give you a brief on how to nail your first job. So before going there, as a student, you might have some colorful dreams on the industry. So I'll just give a glance about about the pros and cons of this industry. So the pros is, it's a creative job, and you people will definitely enjoy working on this field. If you are an artist who appreciates art, and if you're passionate about your work, you will love the work. You will enjoy creating stuff, imaginary environments and creatures and stuff like that. So it's going to be more entertaining if you love what you do. So if you are a passionate artist, then this is a place for you. You will enjoy each and every day that you work. So that is a pro, and there are so many job opportunities, because nowadays there are so many platforms of movies. Movies are coming in so many platforms, not just cinema theaters, but also OTTs and satellites, and even small mobile networks and stuff like that. So there are, name any movie that is being made, it will have at least some kind of animation, a simple 2D animation, a text animation, or something like that. So there are overwhelming job opportunities for people who choose to be a CG artist. And it was very hard when I started my career. It was very hard for me to learn and evolve, but because the internet was not like this fast before, and there were like not any materials online, so we had to go through help documents and teach ourselves. But nowadays it is very easy for you guys. There are so many online resources, free, and everybody can learn anything. So so these are all the pros that you can keep on updating yourself in technology and be on the edge of this technology. So there are a few cons as like other industries. So this is going to be a bit challenging for the as a fresher to get a job unless and until you are super creative and you have a very impressive showreel. So I will just give you an idea about how to do that in a very short time. So as I said, any work that you have, unless you have a good passion on it, and if you are not interested on that job, you will not be able to shine on that job, right? So this is not different from anything else, so this is the same here. So unless and until you have true passion towards creating and art, if you don't have the passion towards the art, then this is not the place for you. You have to be creative and you have to be artistic to climb up the ladder and be competitive with others. So yeah, so how to stand out of the crowd. So like as I said before, it's a very challenging industry. To get a job as a fresher, you have to stand out of the crowd, because there are thousands of students passing out every year, and hundreds are being placed. So this is a very challenging industry as well. But once you have this breakthrough, there is no stopping you. So how to get the breakthrough, is how is what we will discuss now. So to enhance your skill sets as a student, you will have to have eye for detail. We call this this terminology is like you should have heard already, but what is an eye for detail? When you create something, when you create an art, for example, you create an environment and you have to recreate some stuff which already exists. So like you have to be very specific about all those minor details, small details, which adds realism to which adds photorealism. So that is what we call as eye for detail. So people, when they start working on something, they have to observe each and every small minute details that makes a very big difference. So when you do a building, if you don't texture enough, texture in detail, that will look very flat and very gaming kind of look will be there. So to give this photorealistic look, you have to study the material, how a texture of concrete looks, how a texture of a brick looks, how a texture of ground looks, and what are all the minute details in there. So that we call as eye for detail. So that eye for detail is very important to for you to create something photorealistic. So that eye for detail that you have to develop. So people with those eye for detail are very much rewarded in the industry. So that is one very good skill set that you have to possess to get into, get your first job. So when you grow the talent for this eye for detail, you will be able to, create stuff more in detail, and that will obviously look good, right? So when you have good stuff in your reel, then it is very easy for you to, nail this first job. So, and yes, you should have some photography skills, because we are creating an art digitally. So, this is something, very, so we are working for cinematographers, we are working for photographers, whatever, if you are doing something, we are doing image manipulation basically. So to manipulate an image, you need, an idea about how to capture that image. So you need to learn about cameras and how the lenses behave, and each and every lenses behave, and how does lens flash behave. So a basic knowledge about photography is very important. Composition skills, everything comes from the photography skills. So learning photography is very important, and understand the lights and how they behave, because you are going to create something digitally again, and without a proper lighting, it will not look photorealistic, right? So you have to understand how the light behaves, how a studio light behaves, how an interior light behaves, how a sunlight behaves, how a fire light behaves, something like fire, So you have to study the lights and lighting conditions and how to recreate them digitally. So that is very, very important. And these are, and all these points, whatever you see here, are going to really, really add value to your showreel. And when you have a, good showreel, it is easy for you to get your first job. So please make a note of all this stuff. Whatever I'm saying, these are all very, very important stuff as a student for you to, get into this industry. So a basic filmmaking knowledge is very important because, even if it is, no matter if it is a 3D animation or visual effects or whatever, it is a kind of storytelling, right? So when it comes to storytelling, it is, obviously you're going to make a film. So you should have some basic filmmaking knowledge. You should know how to convey a story. You should know how to, how directors work, how, a screenwriter works, and how a cameraman works. Just a basic knowledge is very, very important. So you have to learn something about filmmaking and editing skills. When it comes to editing, it's very important for us because we are working on the post-production side of the film. And when it comes to the post-production, the timing of everything is very important. So you will be creating a couple, a few animation shots, maybe, it will have its own continuity. So, when you create a character and the character is going to, act, and there are multiple shots, you need to know where to cut exactly and how to, have a continuity, exactly matched, and how to convey the audience in the right way, how to convey the story to the audience in the right way. So for that, the editing skills are very important because, when a couple of people are talking, and when you have this camera, over the shoulder or close up, you need to know where exactly to place each and every shots. So, for that, you need good editing skills. So that is very important. So sense for sound and timing, again, when it comes to these kind of creatures that you saw, these creatures are all, made out of, the 3D software. So when you do that kind of stuff, you need to know how this creature is going to behave, how this creature, what this creature's mannerisms are. So when it comes to that, like, you should visualize yourself, like before animating, you should know, like, okay, this creature is going to behave in such a way. This is going to make this kind of noises, and this might, if it attacks and if it is going to charge on someone, how fast it will be. So, all these are very, very important. So, you have to learn more about the timing. You have to have a timing sense, and you have to know how the sound works, because, you animate something, and on top of that, somebody is going to add some sound effects. So for that, I think, you should definitely know something about sound and how it will work on top of your animations. So, and the next thing is color sense. So, you would have seen a lot of Hollywood or foreign 3D animated movies. It will be very colorful. So the color sense is very, very important, not just for 3D animation, but also for visual effects, because you would have seen some very beautiful shots made for visual effects in a lot of live action movies also. So when it comes to the concept sketches and stuff like that, you need a lot of color sense. You need to know how to create the mood of the scene. Hello?
No, sorry for the disturbance. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So yes, so the color sense is very important, when it comes to creating a environment or 3D animated content or whatever, your colors speaks for you actually. So it adds real value for a movie. For example, you take a movie like Coco, Pixar's. So like that really stands out, because of the colors, the colors they used and the color palettes they use. So these are all very, very important when it comes to filmmaking. And the technical knowledge, yes, of course, because you are going to be a filmmaker, and also you're going to be a digital filmmaker. So when it comes to digital filmmaking, you just have to be very strong with your technical knowledge as well. So for a technical knowledge, I mean the know-how of what all the softwares that you're going to use. So, and when I speak to students and freshers, I see mostly that they are very dependent on some softwares. Particularly, I would advise you not to have that kind of attitude, because softwares doesn't make an artist. An artist is using a software. Software is just a tool. You cannot say a painter did a very good job in painting because he had a good brush. So that's the same here. It doesn't matter which brush you use. Of course, a good brush will have some flexibility for this artist, and he might do some good artwork with some quick turnarounds, but that doesn't make any difference to an artist's work. So an artist is who paints that pictures. So it doesn't matter what brush he used, but the knowledge of the artist is very important. So you don't have to rely on any softwares or plugins. You just have to understand the basic concepts, and any software can do the same stuff. So of course, there are some technological advancement in each and every software. That is when it comes to advanced techniques. But mostly, Blender. If you take Blender, we are using Blender in a lot of stuff that you have seen, whatever you have seen in our reel. We have used Blender as well, to create some stuff. So it doesn't make any difference. We use Nuke, we use Fusion for compositing, we use sometimes even After Effects or something. But you will not be able to tell the difference between whatever softwares we use. It doesn't matter. So softwares doesn't matter anytime. It is about the artist and their skill sets. And the last point is practice. No matter how knowledgeable you are, unless and until you practice and practice and practice again and again, you'll not be able to nail, the quality of what the industry's requirements are. So, to meet that kind of quality, you have to, practice a lot of stuff. You just, take some examples and try to recreate the same, look and feel. If you are a modeler, you can just take some expert modelers, output, and you can try to recreate it first. Instead of creating something by your own, if you try to copy something first, you will know the nuances of it. You will know, okay, this is missing here. This guy has done that, and in my artwork, this is missing here. So you try to recreate some existing artwork first and practice it. And then, at some point of time, then you will be an expert in that. And then I think, you can take it forward with your own creativity and, recreating stuff like that. So practicing is very, very important. So you have to do a lot of practice when it comes to artwork. So yeah, the learning curves, there are, as I said, there are so many materials online available. And you can use all those online materials. Free materials are there, and very cheap tutorials are available. Very, in a very cheap cost. There are some awesome tutorials available online. You can purchase that, or you can use free materials, to learn and evolve. And workshops are, workshops like this are being conducted regularly by experts around the world. There are so many free workshops, and there are so many, very affordable workshops happening. Be a part of it, understand how the professionals work on each and every shot, and then you will know what areas you want to specialize in. So you just have to figure out what area that you want to specialize in, and then you focus your interest towards that first, because nobody will recruit. You can say, I know modeling, texturing, rigging, animation, and everything, but no company will recruit you for all these knowledges, because instead of being instead of being with the knowledge in everything, they want a specialist who does some specific skill set. One or two specific skill sets are very important. So you have to specialize in something that interests you the most, and then slowly you can just learn other things also. But specialization is very important. So and also forums, you can be a part of forums. There are so many industry experts discussing about a lot of technical aspects, and stuff. And if people have doubt, they come on board and they clear their doubts. So there are so many online forums like Reddit or even LinkedIn, wherever you you find these forums, you can be a part of it and discuss and get your doubts sorted out. So be active with social networks like LinkedIn, FB, and Reddit. You post your stuff when you think that this is good to show it to the world. Don't show stuff that you're not happy with. You just show the stuff that you are proud of, and just post this thing around the social networks, and that will gain more audience for you. So maybe some recruiter or somebody who is in charge of recruiting might see that and get impressed, and you might get a call from somebody for a job. So that is a very important stuff that you can follow. You just start working on your reels, small clips, and you can start posting on social networks. And industry internships, companies like us, we give yearly internships. We even have internship programs for 3 months and 6 months. Those are all paid programs. Like you can try to be a part of it. You can apply for internships, and if you are selected for internship, that is a very good entry ticket for into the industry. So what you have to do is learn from the experts and prove yourself. So it will be so easy for you to get into the first job. And create your own short films and do small projects. You can just even create a small short, one particular shot with all these aspects of visual effects or animation, or just to showcase your ability in animation. You just can create a small clip of animation and add it in your showreel. So that can be very helpful. And yes, of course, we are all working for a movie. One case of other, you are just working for any movie. Like even if it is a game cinematic that is inspired from some movie scenes. So everything is a movie there. So you have to have a good knowledge about movies. So watch a lot of movies, get inspired by them, and try to recreate some stuff out of those movies. These are all a few sites, that share paid training from artists directly. Learn Squared, ArtStation, Marketplace are there. Some experts, sell their stuff there, and Patreon is there. Some artists, do some video tutorials and they sell it there, and Gumroads. So when you complete your courses, you will be eligible to work on all these areas, a VFX company or a gaming AR VR company, or you can be a part of a 3D animation company where they make 3D movies. And there are companies who does web e-learning and stuff, animation, small corporate animations and stuff. So there are so many opportunities for students who get out of this courses, that whatever you choose. So you have to be very specific about what you want to do in once you pass out, and specialize in that area. So there are a few jobs in demand always, and there are a few specific jobs that not many people are aware of. So everybody, when they start to work, learn things, everybody wants to be a modeler. So because it just excites people when they start creating modeling. So they just think that I can be a modeler, but to be a model, I always advise people, every artist are unique in their own way. People who draw portraits cannot draw an environment, an architecture. So people who are good with architectural drawings cannot draw a character. So it is it is your specialization. I can draw portraits, but I cannot draw a good environment architectural stuff. So it is my specialty that I am good with drawing people. So I know my specialty and I have to be that person. So yes, of course when you draw a lot of big environments and stuff, or model in 3D modeling, when you start with some 3D modeling and stuff, it will just excite you, but you might not be the specialist that you think you are. So you have to just figure out what comes to you first. So what is your specialization first? So then if you know your specialization, you will be able to, easily secure a job. So, when people start 3D learning, everybody wants to become a modeler. Everybody wants to, become a modeler and texturer. Or, it doesn't work that way. So, you might be good with rigging. You might be good with, lighting. You might be good with look development, but not with models. You might be a good FX artist, but you might not be a good modeler. So you just have to figure out who you are and then specialize in that. Okay. So when it comes to a compositor, the compositors are always on demand, and so you can specifically concentrate on becoming a compositor. And digital matte paint, as I told you here, a lot of stuff are being made out of matte paints. So this is a very not very popular designation among people here, because they are not aware of what matte painters do and how to do that. So it is a very least touched area. So this particular area has a very big job opening everywhere. So if you are a good matte painting artist, you can definitely nail a job. So that is one area. And concept artists, if you're good at drawing, and if you are good with colors and mood and recreating lighting and stuff, you can be a very good concept artist. And concept artists are some like very highly paid people in the industry, and they are very, very unique and very rare to come across. So if you think you are very good in drawing, and you can digitally do the artwork, and then you can try to become a concept artist. And if you think you are a techie, you are good with coding and stuff, but you still you are interested in the animation side of it, you can you can learn animation but specialize in programming. And you can help people create stuff using because there are a lot of stuff that we have a technology team here in our office. What they do is they create tools, and they do scripts to make the stuff that whatever repetitive stuff. For example, if you create something and you place it somewhere and you do that regularly, you don't have to do that again and again. If you do a code for that, if you do a script for that, that the program automatically does it. So you automate stuff. So that is a very, very important stuff. When it comes to big companies, there is always technology team who develops their own pipeline tools and scripts to automate stuff and to avoid manual errors and stuff like that. So this is a very not popular area that not many people know about this, but this is a very demanding position here, and we don't easily come across pipeline TDs. So that is very, very a rare role, and you can be a part of it. And if you are good with programming. And yes, of course, riggers with programming knowledge are always wanted. And look development TDs. When it comes to look development, I'm sure you know what is a look development, but I'm just briefing you here. For example, you saw the creatures that we did. So one person will be doing modeling, and one person will be doing texturing, and one is doing grooming, fur and stuff. But if you put all this together, it will not look real unless a look development artist comes on board. So his job is to make the skin look like real skin, make the eyes look real, make the fur look real. So they are the people who bring these models to life. So that is a very demanding position as well. So so that job is on demand. So you can be a part of it if you think it comes to you naturally. So yes, how to secure your first job? I think all of those points, whatever we saw before, all covers this topic. But this is something you should have a very strong reel, as you know, as I told you before. Don't keep stuff whatever you did right from the beginning of your course. Don't keep all of those stuff. Don't think that it is going to entertain people. No, because when when it comes to recruiters, they are watching at least 30-40 reels every day, and they will be easily bored with stuff that they don't want to see. So even if it is just 3 shots, that's just 3 small clips that runs for only 6 seconds or 10 seconds, that doesn't matter. But that 10-second has to be, a mind-blowing stuff, right? So you just try to recreate stuff what a professional did. For example, if you are an animator and you want to create a, if you want to apply for a job, you just have one, take just one particular shot or a couple of shots and do those animation, like you try to recreate of, a scene from a movie or an acting from a movie, and just, try to recreate 3 or 4 shots will be enough to show your skill set. So, people can judge when they see stuff like that. So you don't have to, have a very lengthy showreel, which is going to be really boring and people will not, be interested to see all of those. So, even a single frame of your work in modeling will, tell people who you are. So you don't have to don't concentrate on keeping a lot of stuff in your reel, but keep it very limited. And if you are applying for a modeling position, just focus more on modeling reels. Or if you're trying to be an animator, you just keep focus more on keeping animation and very less other stuff, because it is good that people know that you are trying to become an animator, but you have lighting skill, you have modeling skill. That is good. But they are going to hire you as an animator, right? Junior animator or someone. So you have to show them a specific skill set about animation. So just focus on that. And as always, have an impressive resume. Just don't, just don't give a formal resume with very minimal content. Just tell more about yourself, and maybe a few personal projects of yours. You can explain the challenges that you came across and how you achieved or something like that. So all these resumes really adds value. And when you have a chance to speak to some recruiters, you communicate well. And also you have because communication is very important, because you're going to be a team player. Visual effects and animation is all about teamwork. It is not about a single person skill set. No single person can make a movie, right? It is a teamwork. We need hundreds of people to work on a single movie. So it is all about teamwork. And people will definitely want you to be good at communication. By communication, I don't mean that you have to be good in English or Hindi or Tamil or whatever it is, but you have to you have to be able to communicate whatever language. It doesn't matter what language you speak, doesn't matter. You have to be able to communicate what you have in your mind. Your thoughts has to be communicated in the right way to the people on the other end. So that is very important. So you just improve your communication skill sets. And yes, exhibit your works in social media. As I said, people like me and other recruiters and everybody are very active in LinkedIn and other social medias. So when I open my LinkedIn page, if you are in my friend list or anybody else, so that will pop up. When you post some work, that will pop up on their walls. So that will definitely get you a chance of displaying your work, and people might notice it and you might get a call. So use that opportunity. And as I said, try to be a part of any internships programs, in big companies. Yes, I think I almost covered everything, and now we can move on to our question and answer session.
That was a very impressive session. It was covering a lot of information for the students to come up with their ideas and how to present themselves to the companies. I think that was a great insights on that, actually.
Thank you.
That was really great. Thank you so much for that. And yes, guys, actually now it is time for you right now. I think you can interact with Mr. Bejaoy in the chat by asking your questions. Feel free to ask your questions so that you can get clarified. If you want to get into the VFX or industries like this, feel free to, now it's time for you to throw your questions. Please put up feel free to open up. It may be basic, doesn't matter, or it may be repeated. It may be whatever sir just now told, it may be repeated also. Doesn't matter. You can feel free to clarify that thoughts. So now just open up with your question. That's very important.
So where will I see these questions? It will pop up in my window.
It will pop up for you, sir. It will pop up in the chat for you, but we are waiting for the questions. Before they ask the questions, so I like to get into one clarification.
Yeah.
You are asking about the compositors or look a dev and a lot of other famous job opportunities, right? So what is the role of in general if they concentrate on in special with rotoscopy or in special with only on dynamics? Will that kind of a roles are opened or is it required right now in the market? On rotoscopic only if they concentrate, because you told them to specialize also, right? So if they specialize in that rotoscopy, will they have an opportunity? What is the opportunity?
Yeah, I know. See, right now visual effects and 3D animation is a very booming industry. Gaming is really very much booming actually, more than others. And it's a very profit-making business also. So people are, more companies are emerging, and there is more opportunity everywhere. So if you just open your LinkedIn page, you should have seen so many openings and around. If you're following companies, where animation or visual effects companies, every companies are having openings, and maybe due to this pandemic it was a bit held up, but again now it's starting to boom again. So even in our company we have around more than 50 openings. So it is like in every department, I say. So it is as I said, we are always looking out for talents, and it is very important that you knock the right door. So because unless and until you have a specialization for yourself, it is hard for freshers to make it to the industry. So you might be interested with everything, but you will naturally be very easy to come up with some one or two areas. So like if, for example, if it is rotoscopy that it comes easily to you, then you practice more on that. You get an impressive reel, and then and you can try any internship, or try breaking through into this industry. So yes, of course, rotoscopy is a job in demand, but for rotoscopy freshers, getting into rotoscopy as a fresher might be a bit challenging. But that is not, I wouldn't say that that is an impossible task, because even in our company we used to give a lot of internships, and so there is definitely an opportunity everywhere. So, and to start with the rotoscopy, you might try with small companies, and once you have a small a bit of experience, and maybe a year or so, then I think big companies will start to consider you, because you already have some experience. And even big companies nowadays are having their own academies and training people. I see. So we do it in another way. We call it internships, and some companies call it academies. So we recruit people who we see our potential, and we train them. We give them 3 months training, we give them 6 months training. Sometimes. So it depends. So to get into those kind of academy or internship, you have to possess some skills, and you have to have some impressive reel or portfolio to get into the first job of yours. So definitely there is opening for all the areas. And as I said, I showed you some specific jobs in demand, right? Compositing, digital matte painting, and pipeline. Most of our students here might have some IT background, so that means they have some knowledge in programming as well. So it's a very really demanding positions. We are really looking for people who are good with programming, and at the same time who has knowledge in Maya, or who has knowledge in other 3D software packages, and compositing. So because it's both are very unique stuff, right? People who knows programming will not know our DCC packages. So when it comes, when you know both of this stuff, it's very unique actually. So we are really very very much looking out for people who knows both this programming and DCC packages. So we are even ready to hire freshers who have some Python knowledge, but at the same time, they should know Maya and other compositing softwares, basics at least. At a student level, that is fine. If they know Python and they are good at problem solving skills and they are good in coding, we are ready to hire freshers, and we couldn't find people for that. It's very rare to find people with those skills. So there are some jobs in demand, and people are not aware of it. Everybody wants to become a modeler. Everybody wants to become a rotoscope artist. It is like, so what happens is, like, there are thousands of modelers, thousands of rotoscope artists. So, automatically companies will start looking for the best among them, right? So there is a competition created already. So, you have to be, I'm not saying that you don't have to become a modeler or rotoscopic artist, but if you think that your specialization lies with something else also, you just concentrate that. That will help you out to get the first job. So, here you can become a matte painting artist, and all. It is very hard to come by, actually. What we are doing is, like, we are conducting workshops, free workshops on matte painting, so that people are aware of matte paint, what matte paint is. And then we are recruiting, people who, shows interest in that. So it is like that here, actually. So, you can be a good matte painting artist. You can be a pipeline TD with programming knowledge. You can be a look development artist, or a good rigging artist. Anyone, and animators who are good in creatures, are in very big demand. Like photoreal animation is on very big demand. Actually, it is a very easy job. Like, you have to just collect some reference movies, reference footages of reference clip of some creature walking, and then you have to try to mimic it. That's all. You have to just recreate what you see in that video, and then in practice, then you will get to know the minute details of it, the nuances of it, and then you will be able to recreate this photorealistic animation. So these are all jobs that are all in demand, but people are not aware of all this stuff, and everybody are concentrating on becoming a modeler. Or, as I said, not everybody are a particular artist. I can draw a portrait, but I cannot draw an architectural infrastructure. So it depends on who you are. So my specialization is with this, means I have to concentrate on that. I cannot be someone that I'm not.
Actually, you have answered us the second question also. I think you have linked up with easily you have made us work very easy. Actually, you told us what are the jobs in your company you're looking out for, and as well as the demand also. I think now students can prepare themselves with their resumes and with their interesting portfolios to submit to your company as well on the particular jobs which you are looking out for. I think that's great. Sure. I think you made one thing very clear is, like, people are not checking the right needs right now in the market. That is one thing which is a highlight point in this overall session, which I see this is a good closing point actually for the session, because even we saw that many people are saying that I'm 3D modeler, but other than 3D modeling, I think they have other areas to notice also. I think that's great actually. And before we, I have one more question. Like, now, what you have told them, but I just want to hear it out with more in-depth knowledge. If, example, I'm going to be an animator. Let's say I'm going to share my resume to your team that I want to be an animator. What kind of creatures, like, example, if they are okay with any type of creatures, or we are suggesting, like, example, don't show me frogs, or don't show me squirrel, don't show me like this basic. You show me something like these creatures, which will be a solid portfolio. Is there any suggestions on that?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. Actually, even if it is a frog, there are the frog has its own mannerism and actions, right? If you are able to nail that exactly perfectly, then see, as a recruiter myself, what I will see when I see a reel is, like, I can even sense an artist's skill set by seeing just a clip. So I will know that this guy will be a good animator or not by seeing a single clip, because it's that easy. You will be able to differentiate between a kid's drawing and a professional artist, right? How, by the strokes of it, by the professionalism that they show in that, that single image, right? Even if it is a small, very small drawing, we'll be able to differentiate that a professional has drawn, drew this, or a kid has drew this, so that's the difference between the reels also, so we will be able to figure it out. Okay, this is a professional's work and this is not. So I would recommend you, don't rely on any creatures or stuff. There are so many very good rigs, available online for free of cost, actually.
True.
And just to look for, for example, if you get a leopard rig free from what's his name, the guy who gives free rigs away, Massimo. Not Massimo. I don't remember his name.
It's fine. Completely fine.
Yeah. He does the very good, rigging work, and he has, his dedicated site. I'll just go across and maybe I will text you back later.
Definitely, we can share it in the Discord. So if the students will be connected with us in Discord channel, our Discord, they will be connected. So we can even share there so that students can take the link from there.
Sure. So those kind of rigs actually allow us to, do any photorealistic animation. So, use that rig. And if you have a good tiger model or something online, which is available, you don't have to bother about the textures or fur or anything. If you're going to be an animator and if you want to concentrate becoming an animator, just concentrate on the character's animation only. Nobody's going to bother about whether whether the fur is right, whether the texture and the look is right, because you are applying for animator, so we will be looking at the animation only. So you just give a even a subsurface or renders or something, but that is fine. So that will serve the purpose, right? So just apply a plain white shader and do some basic lighting and render it. But what you have to do is look for some reference of the tiger and try to recreate that 3-second or 4-second animation exactly. For example, it might be climbing up a tree, and you can or it might be hunting down another creature or whatever. As long as you make it, you don't want to make it complex, you just can have a small walk cycle. Even a walk cycle will show us if you are a good animator or not. So yes, so that is what we are looking at actually. You don't have to concentrate more on creating a lot of interesting stuff in your reel, because it is not going to happen. You cannot single-handedly create an Avenger end scene, right? So nobody can do, no professional can do that kind of scale of work. So nobody will be expecting that out of you. As a fresher, we know what to expect out of you. So you have to keep it simple, but at the same time the quality has to speak for itself.
It was really great. You made a point that you brought many students to practical world, that you cannot create an end game. Definitely, that's right. Actually, you brought many students to not think very big, think small, but think it very crisp. I will see the crux of the way what you see, and so that get it done. That's all. You get hired. So that's really good to know that. So one last question: which you said that you have seen a lot of portfolios per day and you would have been rejecting them in various scenarios. Can I know your rejection points? Because that will be a good learning for the people to say, take care. These are the checklists which I don't need to show, or which I should be taken care, which many people are seeing. So can you tell us what are the rejection points? What is the reason make you to reject that portfolios, so that make the students very aware that? Can you tell us that points, please?
Yeah. There are so many funny stuff that happens every day. We reject, we don't even have to reject, they reject themselves first. When they send resumes, there will not be any subject line, there will not be any cover letter for which position they are applying. They are freshers, they just attach a resume, and it will not say anything in detail about themselves or anything, not just the resume, because see, first people will be checking out the email subject lines, because companies are getting hundreds of emails every day, and they will not have time to open and go through every resumes, believe me. So when you send emails without subject, that is the first rejection point that I would like to mention, because you know that this is not going to be opened up, and this is nobody is going to read that out. So you don't even bother to send an email without a subject or the cover letter, because it is not going to be helpful for you, because nobody is going to open it up. So that is the first rejection point, I would say, because a cover letter should say who you are and what position you are applying for. So that gives a brief for the recruiter, so that they know that, okay, this guy is applying for a modeling position, and whether we have a modeling position or not. And this guy is a fresher, or this guy has some experience, and maybe you can even attach a resume, impressive resume with a couple of thumbnails, of your modeling work that immediately catches their attention. So that helps actually. But and also the reels, as I said, the reels has to be very crisp and clear. And some people send us Google Drive links with a folder, and that folder will have a bunch of images and bunch of a lot of R&D stuff, whatever they did at their home and their spare time. And nobody has that kind of spare time to go through all your Google folder and find out who you are, right? So we just ignore all this stuff, all these emails. So that is the first rejection, that even if you are highly skilled, people will not even open your resume, because you never gave them you never gave them a chance to understand who you are. Unless and until you exhibit yourself clearly, how will we know that who you are and what you do? So it is very important that you exhibit your best work in your reel, and the resume title, subject line has to be very clear. And nowadays we are using we are not encouraging email applications. We are having our own job portals and stuff. So that itself will ask a lot of questions. So take time to fill it up. Don't hesitate to answer any questions that are being asked, because those are all filter points. Like we have our own system that filters out. So when we have a requirement that when you answer a particular question, because for example, if there is a questionnaire saying are you interested in creatures or creature modeling or stuff like that, when you say yes, I have interest, or I have done this and that, and if you painstakingly took time to attach some images, that whatever you did, and when we have a creature modeler opening, we will be using those filter points first. So when we filter those points, we will just it will just show up to us that people who are showed us interest in creature modeling and stuff. So those are all the points that adds value, and you have to be very specific to make sure that the recruiter sees your potential, true potential. So try to take some time. So I have even seen some people forwarding emails that they send to other companies. So that will be a trail of emails with like 10 or 12 trails with all the other company email IDs, and they will be just forwarding it to others. Those are all shows that how important this job is to you. We just see that as a person who we just see that as a lazy person who doesn't even bother to fill up the subject line, and we will think it will easily allow us to judge you. We will think that, okay, this person doesn't care about even filling his own information, and how will he come here and work for us? So that's the first rejection point actually. So you have to be very careful.
I think you made it very clear actually. Last but not, this is connecting to the same question. So you would have seen like more than 1,000+ reels in your life with the students, interviews, a lot of professionals, students. Which reel you think that this is wonderful, and which reel you thought, oh my God, this guy is not making it clear what he's trying to do. He's going to be an animator or a texturing artist or a rigging artist or whatever the role he has applied for. He may be applied for a 3D modeler, but his profile will be talking about texturing, and he'll be confusing you. So tell me a reel which you saw, wow, it's very perfect, and tell me a reel which is horrible. I cannot even understand, or it's too bad. I'll not waste my time.
I think you yourself answered those questions. Like when you see the reel and it is not very specific, and it talks about everything and nothing good comes out of it, then that is purely a waste of time, right? So people, when they I've seen reels with very horrible model making, and they will be applying for modeling. The problem is not with their modeling skills, but they are not aware of the quality of quality expectations of the industry right now. Maybe that modeling, whatever they are showing here, might have got a job, 20 years back, but not now. So it is like very important to stay on top of everything and keep yourself updated and watch out other people reel. Make sure that you are very competitive to themselves. When you just go through YouTube reels for freshers, and you just pick the best reels out of it and try to recreate that kind of quality. Don't compete yourself with the person that you think you are. He's not. His work might not be that good, and don't compare yourself with that guy. You just compete with the best person in the industry, and then your results will talk for yourself. So I think that is the best thing to say. Because I have come across very good reels, and I have come across very, very bad reels as well. So I cannot say this. I cannot quote something as an example, but that I think your question itself answered everything. So your specialization has to be there in the reel. You cannot just show everything, which is and believe me, there might be one good shot and two bad shots, or two good shots and one bad shot, and that one bad shot will allow people to judge your intuitions, because we will just see the reel and see and think that, okay, see, he has done good lighting here in this shot, but this shot is very horrible, right? And then we will think that, okay, this guy might not have done this one, because he don't have the he couldn't judge his work. Like he has two clips, and one is very bad and one is very good, and we will judge by the bad quality only, because there is no guarantee that he did that good clip. Because if he did the good clip, then no way he will put that bad clip in the reel, right? So that will allow people to judge you. So don't do that. You just have the best output in the reel.
So you are telling the students that before they send the clip by themselves, they have to evaluate and see whether they are right to the place. Or example, if it is lighting, mean they have to know that every shot, each and every single shot of that particular clip should be managing the whatever the requirements.
Yes, definitely.
It's really great to judge. I mean, it's very good. I think that serves the understanding, and really it was a really eye-opener session for students, to be very frank. Even I think I got to know to advise people now to, when they apply for VFX or when they apply for any of the job roles, I think that gives the rubrics of the application, how to submit the way they have to. It's really great inviting you for our today's session, and this really great thoughts process which we got from you, Mr.
Thank you. But I didn't see any students' questions.
I got yes. We got one question only. We got is like, sir, is there any specific platform or a site for the students to learn new things as self-learn for specialization? From Sarvana.
Yeah, I think I shared some. Yeah, I can paste it again here in the chat.
Yeah, you can do it in the chat. Sarvanan, I think your question is answered in the chat by our speaker.
These are all a few sites that you can find very affordable video tutorials or articles written by artists themselves. And if you follow people, good artists, you will be able to get good knowledge actually out of their expertise, and be active in the forums, as I said. So those forums will help you out, because if you are not aware, or if you're not sure that whatever the work that you have done is good or bad, you can get feedbacks from people. If you are a part of Discord or Reddit or any community, you can just post your work and ask for feedback, and people definitely will get back. There might be some bad comments as well, but ignore those bad comments. But still, you keep on improvising your work.
Definitely. Thank you so much for your great insights. And it was very great topics. And I mean, actually, it's a very vast topic, to be very frank. You made it within an hour. So it is great that you made it within the time. It's really great. Thanks for joining us. And IMSK is keep on doing a lot of interesting webinars demonstration sessions and talks, please do follow us in Discord and various other means, and discuss with a lot of experts in our Discord channel and get clarified with a lot of ideas and thought process. So really thankful on behalf of IMSK, Vijay sir, and looking forward for PhantomFx to grow up in the market, and a lot of our students should join your studio to support you on various means.
Thank you. Thank you on behalf of Phantom as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vijay sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the participants for joining us. Please join us for the upcoming sessions also. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you, sir. Before leaving, please drop your feedback so that will help us to give us more ideas or topics what you need, so that we can help you to find the right speakers before you join for another sessions. So without fail, fill your feedbacks, so that will help us to fine tune the better sessions for you guys. Thank you.